Hey everybody, welcome to the Brain Talk Tuesday. This is Danielle. I do these every single Tuesday from 10 a.m. to like just 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and we're on Pacific time. I am joining you here from San Diego, California. We have a beautiful sunny day, which is nice, but we are in a drought, need some rain. So it's nice to live where we always have good weather, but then you have all other issues that come along with it. So as you join, live or recorded, please say hello. Tell me where you're joining from. And what I'm excited to talk about today is the brain, of course, but how foods affects the brain. How your brain is so tied into your gut. It's just such a passion of mine. I grew up with a really health conscious mama and total hippie. We used essential oils, and then always, she taught us about eating healthy. And as a typical kid, I liked my sugar cereal. My brother and I would fight over, who got to pour our cereal first in the bowl. But the thing that my mom instilled in me was how nutrition and how, the earth has so many answers for our health. And as a psychotherapist, I got into psychotherapy. Hello, everybody. I see you joining and saying hi. When I got into psychotherapy, it was really hard for me in practice to not be able to address nutritional stuff, which would be considered outside of my scope of practice. And what I love about my doctorate is I'm actually giving you something that I'm studying for my doctorate, and they are talking about how important it is that medical and mental health professionals should be collaborating. This is my current course book, which is Mindbody Health. And I've got a research paper, my final research paper due this week. So after this, I've got to shut down all electronics for the rest of the week, and I'm going to be hunking down on a research paper. But I love that in my clinical psychology doctorate, we are talking about nutrition and that it needs to be addressed because there's evidence of different nutrients and different deficiencies that affect the brain, but not only the brain, but mental health symptoms. So I'm here to tell you there is hope with your emotional symptoms that you suffer, whether it be clinically or whether it be situational or whether it be from premenstrual. These are real things that we go through that change our brain chemistry, and there's some things we can do to affect this. So as I get started, I want to see if there's anybody on here that can be a commenter for me, and please say hello as you join. And also you can share this with your news feed with other people who may be interested in learning how you can affect your brain by eating healthy and the different things to be aware of to eat. And that's what I liked about this. It really helped me hone in and make sure I'm getting some of these nutrients. So go ahead and share this, and you can tag people in the comments. But if someone could be a commenter as you join, just comment maybe some of the highlights that I give you. That way we can visually see them and actually learn together from verbal and visual. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we're just going to go dive right in. I have whole notes here that I wanted to share with you, and this is honestly from my assignment last week. So I'm loving that I'm in my doctorate full time and I can share some amazing content with you. So one thing you need to know is your diet can absolutely help you in actually getting long-term changes for emotional wellness. Starts with the gut. I use some things that help with immediate, like you can go for a walk, right? You can use essential oils, exercise, nature. Those types of things give you some immediate results, which are crucial. But you also need the long-term, which is addressing in the gut. And that is the piece that your gut health is tied to everything in your body. So I'm talking about the brain because that's my specialty. But when you're looking at heart health, we talked about this last week, right? We talked about anger in your heart and how it hardens your heart. There's a saying, they're hard-hearted because they're angry. They don't see, stubborn kind of, and it actually does harden your arteries. So when we're talking about gut health, it affects the entire body, not just the brain. 40% of what you consume does affect the brain, but what you consume affects down to your health of your muscles, to your toe, to your heart, obviously, your liver, everything. So we're going to give some brain key, and if you guys have some children that are maybe struggling with focusing in school, or maybe some other special needs, this is going to be a crucial piece to just improving their symptoms and quality of life. So, Okay, so just looking at my notes, because I know sometimes I'll jump ahead, but I'm going to give you today just a brief overview. This is not all the answers. This is a brief overview. I do have a psychoaromatherapy training that you can join. You can look at it on my website, danielledr.com. And in that, I go into more depth with the gut-brain connection, but this is going to be just a little overview and some key points to look at. So to remain healthy, our body and our brain especially needs certain nutrients, and one of those nutrients, so the first one, if someone's going to be a commenter, whether this is recorded or live, go ahead and please be a commenter, is complex carbohydrates. Our brain must have complex carbohydrates. It supplies the energy it needs to be able to take the billions of neurons around through the brain and the body. So what are complex carbohydrates, right? I'm going to tell you the ones that I think I thought were healthy on the list and not adulterated by GMOs. Like today, we have a lot that are foods that are not even healthy anymore because of that. So when I'm talking here, I'm talking about non-GMO always. So that means, it's not been hybrided or adulterated from its origin, from the creator, okay? And then second thing I'm talking about, organic, meaning no pesticides. The most you can do to eliminate pesticides and sugar from your diet are going to help you so much. And that's cane sugar, even coconut sugar. Okay, if it has added sugars, including milks and things like that, I don't buy it. There's no reason for it to be in your spaghetti sauce. Yesterday I was at the organic store sorting through different spaghetti sauces because Danielle doesn't make her own. But I'm sorting through the three brands that they have. Only one of them didn't have added sugar. All the rest had added organic cane sugar, but that's still not healthy. It's still sugar in your body, and that's not good for mental health. Justin and Grace Hayes, thank you for being my commenter. I appreciate that. It helps our brain see it. So complex carbohydrates are peas, beans, green vegetables, and then grains, of course, but I put quinoa. That's the only grain I really, organic quinoa, what I use. And then, that's all I wrote from the list. There's breads and all that, but I don't trust, the breads. If you ever read the book Grain Brain, great book as well. So let's go into essential fatty acids. Now, essential fatty acids we have got our omega-3s and our omega-6s. Those are crucial for our brain. There's also 2 essential fatty acids that are not found, and you can only get them in food, and that's alpha linoleic acid and linoleic acid, and these are from food. So you got hemp. So if someone can type these down for essential fatty acids, you got your omega-3s and 6s. Those we can get. I take an amazing supplement here called XC Omega, and it has all those essential fatty acids in them. And then you can get the other 2 essential fatty acids that are not found in anything but food. You can only get it from food. Your body only absorbs it from food. Is hemp, flax, walnuts, almonds, dark green leafy vegetables, and eggs. Okay, so those are some of the places you can get those essential fatty acids, and I'll show you the walnuts in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on some of these. What I like, with this omega blend that I take, it's from doTERRA. Absolutely love it, hands down. It's been the best I've ever had. So I've got a cat that's about to jump. And what I love about it is it's got vitamin E in all of its forms. Did you know there's 8 forms of vitamin E? And when I've seen in research, hold on, he wants to go where you want to say hi? This is Lincoln. He's a little cutie patootie, little lion. A little monkey is what I call him because he's very stocky. I want to distract him from going on the camera. So that's what we were trying to do. Give him a little lovin'. There we go. Now we're better. Just like kids, right? They want to get in your face when you're using something. So if you just show them a little attention, then they're okay for a minute. Okay, where was I? So XC Omega, a reason why I like it. Okay, so vitamin E has 8 forms, and what I was saying was all 8 forms have been shown, not if you separate them, which most vitamin supplements separate them. And that's important to understand that you need all 8 forms for it to function in the brain. And that's why when I found this, it was really important to me to have all 8 forms of vitamin E, and this does. So that is crucial for the brain. And then it also has, what I love about it is 9 different essential oils in it. So you've got clove, which has the highest antioxidant scale, ORAC scale, and then our score on the ORAC scale. And then frankincense, thyme, cumin, wild orange, peppermint, ginger, caraway, and German chamomile. All of these individually have been studied to help a lot of the body, but the brain especially. That's what I love about. Even ginger has been shown to help with depression, or uplifting mood, I should say. So you can see, and orange has been shown to uplift mood, increase the serotonin activity. Thyme essential oil is awesome, again, for dopamine activity. So this is my favorite. I highly recommend, if you're not on or if you're on an an essential fatty acid, if you're going to finish those, fine. I would highly recommend switching over, and I'll tell you my story in just a minute too. Okay, so let's go on back with foods. So another nutrient that the brain needs, and thanks for typing those in, excuse me, is amino acids. Now, amino acids, you might be asking, because I even kind of had to look up and make sure I knew what they were when my book was saying this. They gave a whole section on it. Amino acids come from foods like spirulina. Now, I don't know how many of you guys really get spirulina. I didn't so much, so now I purchase it, and it's like in a powder form, and I put it in my shakes. Amino acids come from leafy green vegetables. So basically, leafy green vegetables, I'm just going to save you. They're in like every single section here. Sunflower seeds and butter. So I have a sprouted sunflower seed butter right here. I love nut butters. I think these are such a great way to get your nutrients that you need. You want to make sure that they haven't added sugar in them, because that's, a lot of people do that. But this is an amazing one. It's raw, sprouted. It's, gluten-free, sugar-free. And this is from, I don't even know the brand. Gopal's? I can't even read what it says. So note to self, when you're doing branding, make sure you can read the font, because I can't even read the font on that. Gopals or Copals, I don't even know. So if people don't know your brand, that's not very smart. But this is a good brand, whatever the name is. So anyway, what's important, this is a sunflower seed butter. I also do sunflower seeds on my salad. I like to mix up my nut butters, is what I was saying. You don't want to just eat sunflower seed butter all the time. I actually eat walnut butter, which is really good. Pecan butters, almond butter, of course. I love peanut butter too. There's a lot of controversy on peanuts being very healthy for you, so I steer, that one's more like once in a while. I do all sorts of butter. Cashew butter is the other one. Oh my gosh, you guys, cashew butter is so creamy and good. So mixing up your butters. But for amino acids, sunflower seeds was specifically mentioned, and almonds, avocados, love my California avocados, quinoa again, chia seeds, and hemp seeds. So I'm going to give you some ideas here of what some diet ways you can do, especially with kids, to get these nutrients in. So the last three that it mentions is vitamin, minerals, and water, of course. And you want to make sure all those are a good source. I have, with my omegas, actually it's a package that comes with a vitamin and mineral. And it's got all your vitamins, A through, K, riboflavin, Bs, your folates, iron, copper, magnesium, all your essential minerals too. So I take this. You want to make sure that they're broken down from whole food, okay? You don't want synthetic vitamins in your body. You will basically just excrete them. It's going to be expensive urine. So make sure your vitamins are from a whole food base. And why do you think that is? Because it will absorb. It's more bioavailable for the body, and you won't just, excrete it from the body. Your body needs something that comes from food. So that's why I really liked these. And then the other reason is because it has like that vitamin E that I was telling you, the whole, compound of vitamin E between these two. So that's what I use for vitamins. I highly recommend them. If you have more questions about getting started with these vitamins, go ahead and message me. My assistant gets on my messages pretty quickly, and we can get you help there, get you started. So nutrients, the nutrients that I've just told you have been clinically shown to improve mood. This isn't just, it is, you feel better when you eat right? It's not really science. Like, when I ate a salad, I feel much better than when I ate a, deep fried French fry or chicken. Those taste good. They do release neurochemicals in the brain, but they're not healthy release. Too much dopamine. It releases addiction neurochemicals. So many biochemical imbalances, this is right from my book, I just had to write what they said. Many biochemical imbalances can be improved by nutritional therapy. How awesome is that? How many of you guys would like to talk to a mental health therapist that also includes nutritional therapy? That's exactly what I do when I consult with my clients, because nutrition, you cannot go far if you're not addressing nutrition. A high percentage, let me go back. The brain has billions of nerve cells that communicate with itself and the entire body. And the nerve cells, did you know these cells are comprised primarily of fat? So a high percentage of fats that come from essential fatty acids. So if you are not taking an omega supplement, you must get on one right away. Your brain thrives on it. Do you know that this is for personality disorders? There's no drugs to treat personality disorders. And I'm not saying I'm all for drugs anyway, but in depression and in anxiety and all these other, schizophrenia, psychosis, bipolar, we've got drugs that they do clinical trials on. There's no drugs. And pharmaceuticals would want to have a drug that could treat a personality disorder because they'd make a lot of money. So they're trying. But there is no clinical proof that anything that they've tried in the past works on a personality disorder. So personality disorder is like narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder. Those are your two big ones. So did you know the only thing clinically shown to improve personality disorders was omegas? Your essential fatty acids, I should say. Essential fatty acids. That was it. So no pharmaceutical drug has been able to fabricate something and make a lot of money. But if you just go back to nature, it's what's important anyway. Okay, let's see. So complex carbohydrates that we talked about, those were your peas, beans, green vegetables, quinoa. Those help with increasing serotonin. Serotonin is your happy neurochemical. Who wants to feel happier, right? And just more ease in life. Serotonin is one that helps do that. So eating your complex carbohydrates can help that. Protein is shown to increase your tyrosine and dopamine. Dopamine is your pleasurable, your feel good as well in a different way. It's dopamine is like when you see a really pretty sunset and you're just, those feelings where you're just like, oh, it's so beautiful. And you're just have this pleasure of just being out in nature. That's dopamine that's helping create that pleasurable feeling. So protein is good for that. That comes from green leafy vegetables. I know eggs that are good in protein. Again, you want farm, like just, and if you do meats, clean meats from a farm that don't do antibiotics or pesticides on their food. They don't feed their animals corn. I make sure they're grass-fed with no pesticides on the grass. You don't need these extra things in the body. All they do is harm your cells. And when you harm your cells, what happens? You get tumors and cancer and and mental health disorders. You don't need it. Okay, so schizophrenia. Wait, let me go back up. Vitamin C has been shown effective in treatments with schizophrenia and bipolar. How awesome is that? Just, simple vitamin C. Again, I get it from a whole nutrient form. When I was little, I love, and I still love them today, the vitamin C chewables. And I'll try to find like the healthiest ones I can at my health food store and just eat them as a treat sometimes. They're like citrusy, they're orange, and just those little chewables. I love them. Schizophrenia has also been linked to deficiencies in omega-3s and as well as having too much sugar in the diet. So here's the thing. We all have different vulnerabilities from, family history, genetics. You have different vulnerabilities. So when I eat sugar, if my family vulnerability, maybe it's diabetes, right? And it's not schizophrenia, but your family's schizophrenia. Why risk it? Why do I want to onset anything like diabetes or schizophrenia if it's a genetic vulnerability? And maybe it won't happen with me. Maybe I'm fine. I've eaten sugar and, whatever, soda pop my whole life. It's never affected me, right? But guess who it will affect? Your children, right? Your genetics. You're changing your genetics and then you're passing those on, which is why we have those weak links. But I don't believe genetics are this like destined, like, oh, it's genetic, I'm helpless. I don't believe that one tiny bit. You can absolutely influence and change your genetics through nutrition, through using a good essential oils, by really working at the root cause, which is your nutrients, right? So you can do a lot with this. Okay, so next, let's, last thing I'm going to talk about is my habit and diets. I wanted to show you a couple good books. This one is called The Second Brain. And if you've heard of it, this is really more of a scientific book. It's written by Dr. Michael Gershon, and he discovered serotonin in the gut. And so it's a fascinating book. If you're a psychotherapist or you're into brain chemistry and gut chemistry, you will love this. So he was a gastroenterologist. I don't know why I had a hard time saying that. But anyway, he is gastroenterologist. Oh my gosh. Someone else typed that word correctly for me. And he discovered serotonin. And when he first discovered it, people were like, no, you're mistaken. He's like, no, I'm not mistaken. So he had to fight for it to be recognized in the medical world. And then finally they were like, oh my gosh, that is serotonin in the gut. They just didn't think it could be. And since then, we found many other neurotransmitters in the gut. 1% of serotonin is in the brain. The rest of it, over 95% of serotonin, is found in the gut, and he discovered that it was not mostly a brain chemical. It was actually more of a neurotransmitter for the gut. So eating healthy helps you access more serotonin. But one that is not just a scientific read is this one, Gut and Psychology Syndrome. It's called The GAPS Diet. And this is written by Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride, who had a son with autism. And she decided, well, how can I treat this? And she started looking at nutrition and what things really helped her son get back to normal mental health and thinking. So this is a great one, Gut and Psychology Syndrome by Natasha Campbell McBride. That's down at the bottom. So you will love that. This book I would highly recommend, especially if you're have some children that you're dealing with autism. Maybe it's your practice or your own home. This is a good one. I highly recommend that. Okay, so I'm just going to go lastly into my habits and diet. So in the morning, and this is stuff you can do with kids. In the morning, the very first thing that I eat, which is about an hour after waking up, I do a handful of nuts, and just a small handful, not a huge handful, it's too much. So I do a small handful of nuts, and I buy raw organic nuts. You don't need toasted and roasted and salted, okay? This is, nor pesticides, raw. So I have some raw, I get them in the bins, raw walnuts right here. I'll do raw pecans, raw pumpkin seeds, and I'll just do, some days I'll just do a little handful of these, or some days I'll do a little of both. And this is a great way just to get what did we talk about? The amino acids from walnuts, obviously, the essential fatty acids, and many other things, essential fatty acids and amino acids from nuts. Then the next thing I usually do is like a shake. And this is a great way to share with the kids. Do a fun tasting shake. And you can do spirulina in your shake. I do different nut milks. So my nut milks are cashew nut milk. I do a banana nut milk as well. And then I do almond nut milk. All sorts. But I will say, when you're shopping for nut milks, you have to look at the ingredients. Some of them have canola oil. You just look for ones, they're usually in the refrigerated section, that just have almonds, for example, instead of all these additive and preservatives. I only have a few that are in the non-refrigerated section, and I buy them and keep them for backup in my cupboards that do not have canola oil and sugar and all that stuff added to it. So other than that, I've got a cashew milk and an almond milk that are in the refrigerator section that only are just that, cashews. That's it. You don't need other stuff in it. Okay. So then what I do with my shakes, I do spirulina, or I'll do avocado. I'll do a scoop of nut butters, or one nut butter at a time. I'll do right now I'm doing an immune power shake that's chocolate, that's from this anti-cancer or cancer care diet that I'm using right now. So just mix up like your protein powders, just making sure that they're also very healthy. DoTERRA does have it's called Slim and Sassy, and it has some great stuff in it too. And there's an orange one that I think kids would like. The other thing that's great, DoTERRA has a omega for children that's flavored with orange, and you can do a spoonful of that. They can either take it or you can put it in the shake. And then also you can add flax seeds or hemp seeds or something like that in a shake. So that's what I do. I kind of mix it up every day. I actually purchase shake mix to go. It's by Project Juice. And each day one has sometimes spirulina, one has hemp. Like I just kind of keep a mixture going. So that's my breakfast, or late, 10 o'clock is when I usually eat that. And then for lunch, I'll either do like a quinoa dish with some vegetables, or you can put, eggs on it, whatever works for you. But quinoa is a really good grain that is with my anti-cancer diet that I eat. That's the one grain that they say it's that you can do. And Julie says spirulina contain dairy. Now, spirulina is a green. In fact, when you put it in, it's like green. So it comes from greens. And then for dinner, I usually do a salad. Or I'll do a cauliflower pizza. So it's cauliflower pizza crust, and I'll just put vegetables on it. But in my salad, I'll do sunflower seeds and just kind of put fresh vegetables and, of course, sunflower seeds. Then I do olive oil and lemon and balsamic vinaigrette, like different ones on it. So I do my own. I stopped buying salad dressings because they had so many bad ingredients in them, even at my organic store. Had sugar and other things that I just didn't need. So now I just do olive oil and balsamic vinaigrette and lemon. So that is like my typical diet in the, during a day. So now you guys all know what I eat, but you can just find little ways to get these healthy foods in for the brain. And then obviously the main thing is I make sure I'm taking my vitamin and mineral, because I'm not getting, I don't eat blueberries every single day, and those are super healthy for you. I'm not doing fish every single day, for example. So you do need a multivitamin. And even if you were eating every single nutrient that you needed, our soil is depleted of minerals a lot of times. So we're not, because farmers it's an industry. You plant, you do again, our soil is getting depleted. So I highly recommend, and I'm just going to end with what I told you. My one story is, I actually ran out of these in December. I didn't realize that I hadn't ordered more. I'm on a monthly order, and for some reason for December I had ordered a whole bunch of Christmas gifts instead of my personal stuff on my monthly order with doTERRA. So I thought, I'll probably be fine till January. I think I have enough. And I didn't. I ran out. And it took me, it was about 2 weeks of running. I had run out. My body was hurting. I noticed the biggest difference. I couldn't believe, just it ached. I felt like almost like inflammation had come into my hands. I was starting to hurt all over, just little areas of my body. And so I got back on these, and within a week, I was like, I finally felt relief. I felt like my hands were less inflamed, and I felt like I could think again. I will not go off of these again like that. So highly recommend getting on something on these. And I'll tell you why, because I've taken vitamins my whole life and I never noticed a difference. If I went without taking them because I was traveling, it was didn't really notice. But when I go without taking these, I notice, because my body's like, I want my nutrients. And they also your nutrients have high anti-inflammatory properties, just naturally. And we're bombarded with inflammation every single day. So with other vitamins, I never noticed a difference I felt the same. When I started taking these, my health improved like crazy. And now I can't go without them, because there's just your essential vitamins and nutrients that you need daily. Your body doesn't store these things. You need them daily. So anyway, love to hear if you want to type in here what was a key point that stood out to you that you really enjoyed from today, or that you learned and that you're going to implement. Well, I love to hear, the inspiration that you got for your own personal journey from listening to the Brain Talk Tuesday. And next week, just as a disclaimer, I will not be here. I'm going to be traveling. I am going to a hypnotherapy and brain theta therapy training. I'm really excited. I'm going to get treatments as well as learn more about brain theta therapy. And I'll share it with you guys when I get back. And it's going to be hypnotherapy. My next course in my doctorate starts March 1st, and it's on hypnotherapy. So I'm excited to really study more of the subconscious mind. Okay, everybody. Well, have a good rest of your day. Would love to read, like I said, what was really stood out to you from the Brain Talk today. And we'll see you not next Tuesday, but the following. So that'll be the first Tuesday in March. We'll be back. Thanks so much, Rosie. Thanks, Kathy. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Great. Yeah, see See you guys soon. Bye, Greg. Thanks everybody for being on. Bye. Have a good Tuesday.